Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhondial. You're with Urban Debate. It's good to see you here this evening. India's Crime Record Bureau numbers are out and they are telling. From 2020 to 2022, that is essentially the pandemic period, crime against women rose 15%. The biggest jump was in numbers for cruelty by husbands/relatives, that is 31%. Reflective of what was happening in our homes, perhaps, when the lockdown locked all of us in. The worst performer as far as the overall numbers, as far as women's safety is concerned, is Assam. In metro cities, Delhi has once again lived up, or should I say lived down to its reputation of being the rape capital of India. This is where every day 2 minors are raped. Calcutta, according to the numbers that have been put out by the NCRB, is the safest city for women. We are taking a closer look at these numbers and asking why, when the world faced its biggest medical crisis, women were facing abuse and rape and molestation and acid attacks. We have a stellar panel that is coming up right ahead on the show. We are trying to look deep into the numbers and see what they are telling us, and even whether we should be taking these numbers seriously. Before that, though, I want to show you a video that can only be classified as criminal apathy / negligence. You can call it what you will, but first see these pictures that have come in to us from Kerala. Just take a look at this. Imagine if this was to happen to you. A loved person is inside an ambulance, is bleeding very heavily, and the door of that ambulance gets jammed. For 40 minutes, people inside and outside the ambulance are desperately trying to do what they can. We'll show you those pictures again. They break the window, they try and hammer down the door lock. They try and break the door itself. By the time they succeed, it's too late. The patient has died. He's died right outside hospital. Now imagine if this was happening to someone from your family. This happened in Kerala, a state that has more than once claimed that it has the best health services and record in the country. 66-year-old Koyamon met with an accident. He was taken to the beach hospital in the city, but doctors there referred him to the medical college, saying that he's bleeding very heavily and he needs to be taken to a better hospital. He was taken to the medical college in a state medical services ambulance with a doctor on board. He was bleeding heavily. He reached the hospital only for the ambulance door not to open. I'm just going to request our producers to put those pictures out again, possibly on full frame, the attempt that is being made actually to try and see if this door that has been jammed can somehow be opened. Why was this ambulance door jammed? Just listen to the ambience of what is happening there. Just take a listen. This process, ladies and gentlemen, went on for 40 minutes. And why was the door of the ambulance jammed? It was jammed because this ambulance was old. It was at least 15 years old. We are being told that the victim's family had been told by the doctor on board that the ambulance is old and not very reliable. Now, is this what any citizen in this country deserves? Absolutely and definitely not. As you see these pictures that are coming to us from Kerala, let me quickly go across to Vivek, who is joining us live from Trivandrum. We also have someone who is joining us who has been witness to what happened on that fateful day. KP Mohammad Yasir is a neighbor and a family friend of the deceased. He is joining us as well. Vivek, I'm coming to you first. Absolutely any reaction coming in from the state government, from the health minister? How could something like this happen in a state which claims that it has the best health services and doctors and hospitals in the country?
Shreya, as far as the government is concerned, the government has not reacted to this particular incident officially, but the RMO of Beach Hospital has called for an investigation. But the State Human Rights Commission has registered a suo motu case on this following the media report, because we have been showing this right from the morning itself. And also, they have sought a report from the superintendent, the medical superintendent, and asked him to file a report in the next 1 week. Remember, this shocking incident happened yesterday in Kozhikode in the evening, where the 65-year-old person for Koyamon was taken to the beach hospital initially and later to the medical college hospital, which provides the state-of-the-art facility to all the patients who come there. But, what shockingly, the people inside the ambulance were not able to open the door and take him to the intensive care unit. Remember, for nearly 40 minutes, they were struggling to open the door. The hospital officials had come there, tried to open the door, but they were not able to. Finally, after 40 minutes, a person who came with an iron rod managed to open it and get him to the ICU. By the time he reached there, he had succumbed to the injuries. Remember, as you said, in the very, very shocking incident that has taken place, what I also understand is that this is a very old ambulance. This was there in service for at least for the last 10 to 15 years. And also, it does not have the concern, the certificate, to run this, in a hospital like this. So basically, the RTO concerned has to conduct an inquiry on what basis was this ambulance being allowed to run in a city like Kozhikode, and that too to hospital. Like Beach Hospital, which is in the heart of the city, and how is it that such an ambulance be made operational on the first hand in a place like this? Now, this is something that needs to be investigated.
Okay, Vivek, as I believe you have Mr. KP Mohammad Yasir with you as well, and you are trying to put him on the same live link that we have. As you do that, I'm just going to look at the pictures that have come to us from Kerala once again, and just listen to the audio of what happened there yesterday. This is an ambulance with a bleeding man that reaches the medical college. And what happens there? The man is bleeding, fighting for his life, and this is what is happening there. For 40 minutes, people inside the ambulance and outside the ambulance are trying to break open the door of this ambulance because it is jammed, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for 40 minutes. By the time they are successful, the man is dead. The victim is dead. Mr. Mohammad Yasir, you're joining us on the broadcast. You're a neighbor. You're also a family friend of the deceased. आप हिंदी में comfortable रहेंगे या अंग्रेजी में? हिंदी चलेगा आपको?
Okay, Hindi, English. Tell me.
Okay. Both are fine with you. I want to ask you whether you were with the deceased and what those 40 minutes were like for you, and if there is more anger and grief in the family right now.
Okay, yesterday there was an incident that we have not had in Kerala. My my neighbor, SP Koyamon, 65-year-old gentle person, security employee in private company in Calicut. That there was an event that made it possible for all to meet her. The person was a bike and was immediately admitted to Calicut Beach Hospital. And he is being admitted to Calicut Medical College as per the instruction of doctors. But one of the incident issue.
Okay, I understand the sequence of events. Yasir, events हमें पता हैं क्या हैं. I want to ask you कि अभी family में गुस्सा है ज़्यादा या grief है ज़्यादा, क्योंकि he didn't really have to die. This is simply criminal apathy and negligence that has killed your family friend.
Madam, yesterday happens. Is a very sad issue.
Okay.
There was a situation, the deserved emergency treatment was delayed 30 minutes as the door of the ambulance vehicle could not be opened, even though it was brought to Calicut Medical.
We saw those pictures, and it's rather unfortunate that something like this has happened. It would be unfortunate wherever it has happened, but this time it's happened in Kerala. Thank you very much. I'm afraid your line is not very clear, so I can't continue this conversation. But thank you very much for joining us.